What's going on, everybody? Hey, sorry for the late show. It's a little late. Wanted to get the show going on this morning, 9 a.m. or so, but that didn't happen. A lot of stuff going on in the household that I'll talk about. Other things that just wasn't able to do it, man. But Lucasfilm finally acknowledges that The Acolyte does exist, and they have started filming, and they officially announced the cast out of all this speculation and stuff. Well, we're going to get into that. We also know that Fantastic Beasts, that's probably done. Oh, well. Avatar, they were going to do total four movies. Now I think they're only doing 3. Black Adam, once again, does well in the box office. No more, what the hell is this thing called? The freaking Crooked Man? I was looking forward to that little fucker. He's not going to have a movie anymore, though. And then we know that Yavin 4 is going to show back up. There's little freaking Grogu. He's going to get his own short. James Gunn says, hey, man, I know you guys want the air cut, but we're as much as we appreciate the past, we're moving in the future. We'll talk about that and more. Scream moves. Andy Serkis isn't doing Venom anymore. Stallone talks about Rocky. A lot of stuff going on. It's a packed show. So you knew I had to do a show here today. And why wouldn't I do it? Especially when our good friends at Carbon Health are the ones that are sponsoring the show. I love Carbon Health, man. 110 locations nationwide. 80 locations just in California, the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Sacramento, and North San Diego. They have urgent care needs at all locations, primary care in California. You can start a relationship with a professional that you can trust to take care of yourself before a major issue arises. It's amazing. I love them. I really do. I'm so excited that we're working with them. Because everyone, this is what they believe. This is what we believe. Everyone deserves a healthcare provider who is an active partner supporting you in your efforts to feel better and live healthier. It's great. They have virtual services. Again, 125 locations nationwide. They have urgent care needs at all locations. It's awesome. And primary care available at many California clinics. So I'm excited to be working with them. We've been working with them for a bit since Schmodown. But they're here. And they're with us every Monday. We're excited about it. If you didn't already know, we got the shirts up there right now. I was shocked, man. Right now, Sith Council's leading the charge. I would hope Big Thing would be leading the charge, but Sith Council's leading the charge. Go on over there and the link's in the description. Get yourself a shirt. Head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/thebigthingshow. All that and more. Am I by myself today? Nope. I got Brett Sheridan here, man, because I need an expert when it comes to all this stuff. Let's get into it, man. It's me and Brett. Let's do it. It's the big thing. Peace. What's up, everybody? It is Big Thing Show. There he is. Look at you.
Hey!
In all your glory. There's mud on the floor.
A little mud on the floor.
Mud on the floor on a Monday. You did Amaru's show today?
Yeah, that was fun.
You fucking crushed it.
I know. Well, I crush everything.
You do.
If anybody were ever to think that you just hired me because I'm your friend.
Paint the shit out of a wall, I'll tell you that. No, man, look, you're coming with me tomorrow. We're going to see Fabelmans.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I think that's, well, that would be my first, like, kind of big movie with you. Like, we did.
Halloween.
Well, I mean.
It's a big movie.
Big
release.
I mean, something that's supposed to be good.
Movie you actually want to say? I was excited for Halloween Ends. It was just shit. It just wasn't good. Riley loves it.
Really?
He loves it.
All
good
right,
for him.
So we should check on him.
You got to start watching this Dark show, man.
I know.
I'm telling you, I was hoping that you'd be able to watch that because we could talk about
tonight.
it. But you got to watch it tonight. I've been raving about this show, everybody. You guys have been raving about it first. During the pandemic, you guys said, hey, you like this time travel stuff? You got to watch it. And I said, and I don't have a problem with subtitles. You can watch it dubbed over in English. I tried doing that for like 3 seconds, and I was like, nah, this ain't working for me. So I threw it on German, put on the subtitles, and I was locked in. I'm in the second episode of season 3 right now. So I think I have like 7 episodes left or something. It's incredible. I'm so locked into this show. I'm telling everybody about it. And I know that I had somebody saying to me, they're like, I had tweeted out, this show is a show I wish that was more popular, that more people knew about. And then I got some responses. I got a few responses. And I was about to do my troll voice, which is not fair at all, because it's not. The guy was really awesome and respectful, and was just having a conversation on the comments. He's like, well, I don't necessarily know if it's not well known because it's very highly rated on IMDb. And I was like, maybe so. Maybe those people who are watching it, and then there are other people who say that in other parts of the world it's very popular.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Maybe so, but it's not in the conversation the same way that like Stranger Things was, or shit. Even Andor. Andor is more talked about, and I think this show's probably even maybe more watched when it comes to ratings.
And this came out around like the Squid Game hype, right? I mean,
So it came out, I think, in like, I don't know what network it came out on, like 2017. But it came out like around that time, and then I think Netflix picked up in like 2019, and it went from like 2019 until, I don't know, 2020 or 2021.
I'm just trying to think of something else that, like, you know, people are tough with foreign films and having to read subtitles.
I think that's absolutely what it is.
But I mean, people got on board with that, and then they just didn't get on board with this because they hate Germans.
That's maybe what it is. But no, I think that it definitely was popular enough because the creators have a new show coming out. I think it's called 1899 or something, and that comes out soon. I just watched a trailer for that, and people are hyped about it. And I think that obviously the reason why is because that the Dark did so well for Netflix. But I'm talking more so about, I believe it should be a show that everyone is talking about. It should be a show that, like, when you bring it up, I can't even tell you how many people I've said, like, after I started watching, have you watched Dark? And like, well, what's that? My brother didn't know what the hell it was. Like, nobody knew what the hell. Riley didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And Riley's always tuned into this. So I think that, had you heard about it until I was?
I hadn't. Lonnie had heard about it, and
had.
she actually tried to get my son to watch it.
Cool.
Yeah, look at that. Hey, you like my sunburn?
No, finish your point. You had a good point.
No,
right?
but she tried to get my son to watch, and he was like, But now I'm like trying to get both of them. I know that Lonnie's gonna watch it with me, and possibly my son. But yeah, last night, just a little tired. I don't know. How is it the daylight savings time getting
just
an hour
up,
just
huh?
crazy?
Yeah,
it doesn't help you. But tonight is the night.
It
wraps up in 3.
Wraps up in 3 seasons.
Okay.
So this, and I'm
I
not
like
gonna,
that.
So
I actually do.
It's great. So and I thought, because when I had heard that it was 3 seasons, like, because nobody was watching it, and then they were like, no, it's scheduled for 3 seasons, and that was it. And you can tell why as it's going through. It to me, and I said, because I was going back and forth with Jacoby Bancroft, Schmoedown competitor, and he had said, he's like, yeah, I heard so many great things about this to my friends, and I was like, look, I think that this show, what I've seen so far, and again, I haven't finished it yet, but I was more intrigued with this, and I loved Lost, but I like this show better than Lost, and he's like, and Jacoby was like, I don't know, Lost to me was one of my favorites all time, same, but the difference is Lost, and even the writers said, Lost had to do this thing where the network knew they had this hit on their hand, and they go, okay, so can you guys do 22 episodes? And they're like, holy shit. And it's before streaming, and it's before all this stuff. So you got like these episodes that were just, fillers. If Lost would have come out during the streaming Netflix era, I think Lost would have been even better than it was.
Yeah.
But this show had the benefit of just saying, okay, I think it's like 10 episodes season 1, 10 episodes season 2, and like 8 season 3. So it's like boom, boom, boom.
I can't speak on all countries, but I do know, like, a lot of European shows, they don't run it into the ground, and we're known for running things into the ground. Like you said, with Lost could have been, but no, it's the money thing, and that's why when you tell me it's only 3 seasons, I'm totally on board because I know that I'm not gonna have to like watch 8 seasons of it or
and they asked you to lock in. I mean, you got to lock into this show. This isn't one of those shows. It's a really smart show. It's the only thing I'll tell you is that there's time travel involved. And
that's awesome. I love that.
That's what everybody knew that they were going to get me on board with saying that, and so that's all I'll say. But what we will do, here's a challenge. I'm going to challenge the audience who's watching this show today and in general, and for everybody, whether it's it and I text Rachel. Rachel Cushing didn't know about it enough, that's just Rachel Cushing Levine, and that just shows you that was my point. I'm not going to dispute the fact that it was popular and it did well, maybe in some portions, but it's not in the conversation the way that it should be. So I challenge the audience, and I say this for those people who are listening to it on audio. And by the way, if you are, please do audio, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere podcasts are found. It's super helpful. The downloads have been going up because you guys have been doing that, so thank you. But I challenge you, and I say this: let's watch it together. Everybody watch it. I'm going to be done with it probably in the next couple of days, I would assume. Everybody watch it. And then hopefully and I got Steph watching it too. Hopefully by like the first week in December, enough people have started watching it. Tell me in the comments if you're going to start watching it. And then we have a new channel. It's the old Clips channel, but we've turned it into Kristian, Harloff, and Friends. That channel is going to be pretty much primarily just like live streams. And I don't think if I put a review up on this channel of dark, it's going to do very well, and the algorithm's going to punish me for it. But I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about it with everybody who's watching it. So we're going to do a live stream of a dark spoiler live stream with people who have watched it, whether it's Brett, Steph, and whoever, have people kind of chime in, and I want to get you guys, so it'll give you enough time sometime in December. So we'll figure out whether it's the first week in December, second week, either way. Want to have you guys, and we'll all go over there and we'll talk, and that way we'll have questions over there, and you guys can all chime in on it. If you haven't watched it, you can get locked into it now. We can all watch it together and then talk about it in December. So we'll do a big live stream over on the Kristian Harloff and Friends channel, which will be the live stream channel moving forward. But dude, I'm telling you, I can't wait to hear you.
Half hour or
no, it's about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, it's like that. It's that full on drama. There's a couple times that it's really gonna, ooh, it's rough.
Yeah.
Like my brother called me before. He's like, I watched the first episode. It was good, but he's like, no pun intended, it's a little dark. And I go, it doesn't stay there.
Yeah.
It like there's portions of it that does, and it gets, but it's not like 7. It goes into there's some rough shit that happens for sure.
You think it's too rough for? I mean, I know
for Blake.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, if he was watching, what was the other one he was watching recently?
Well, Stranger Things, and then the Patient.
Yeah, no, if he's handling those,
we started him off. We kept him away from things, and then we started him off. His first first kind of R-rated film was John Wick. We threw him right into the mix.
If he's watching that, no. There's a couple there's one scene that I was thinking of that I saw, and I was like, ooh man, that's rough. But then even what happens there, you're like, oh, okay. So we look forward to talking with everybody, and I'm really excited to start talking about it. I'm also excited, by the way. I am so excited to once again tell you about Trade Coffee. I've been telling you guys about Trade, and I'm getting more and more from you guys, the people that are trying it and saying I wasn't lying, and I'm telling you, Trade Coffee is no joke, and I want them back. So I'm telling you, please try it out and tell me. A couple people said that they tried and they loved it, and I screenshot it and I took it and I showed it to I made sure they sent it to Trade. So they know that you guys are trying it out and liking it. I want to let them know. It's great. I mean, I have blown through the bags that are in here. I can't wait for the next one because I love it. And if you love drinking coffee every morning, most people do, you have to try it. Trade. You should have seen Steph's face when she took a sip of the coffee. She couldn't believe it. She loves coffee, and she loves Trade even more so, and I do too. It makes it very easy to get the best coffee. It's delivered fresh from the finest local roasters around the country, and boy, is it. You can really tell. It's like that fresh thing. Brett and I were talking about it before we went on air, saying how, the pods are great and all that stuff too, but there's just something about brewing coffee, and especially when it's really this good. It's just so fresh. If you've been getting your coffee from the grocery store and drinking the same coffee every day, it's time you try something even better and do it with Trade Coffee. It's so easy to get fresh roast delivered to your doorstep from local roasters, and it's from all around the country with Trade. It's a coffee subscription service. Makes it so simple for you to discover new coffees and make your best cup of coffee at home every day, no fancy equipment required. Trade partners with the nation's top-rated independent roasters to send you coffee that you know that you're going to love. Whether you already know that you know what you like, or you're new to specialty coffee and you need some help, Trade makes it easy. I've been trying so many of these different ones. I absolutely love it. It doesn't matter if you're a coffee aficionado or just looking for something new. That's what I was doing. So try something new, and I'm probably never going to go back. I love Trade. Upgrade your coffee today with Trade Coffee and let them take out the guesswork out of finding your perfect cup. The best deal that they got going on, so I keep trying to tell you guys, Trade is offering our listeners a total of $30 off your subscription plus free shipping at drinktrade.com/bigthing. Drinktrade.com/bigthing. You get $30 off your subscription for the best coffees in the country. Drinktrade.com/bigthing.
This would be great. I was just thinking about, now I'm like, I got to tell my wife about this because she's in charge of what they get. They order soda waters and things like that. That'd be great for an office place. And if you get in the ear of the person at the office that gets the coffee, because you get to try it instead of getting the Folgers every day.
They send the bags. It's so good. I'll be honest. I wasn't familiar with them until they started inquiring about it. I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And I wanted to try some new coffee, and I'm not going back. I'm asking you. People always ask how you help the show. That's it, but you help yourself here with Trade Coffee, so go ahead and get it. Okay. A lot of news, and so I don't know if you've been following, Brett, but we've been talking about it on Sith Council, where So the Acolyte, do you know?
Yeah, I remember when the announcement of all the up and coming ones.
When they said it in 2020. 2020 is when they announced it. It's like the last time that Lucasfilm actually talked about it, and it was like, okay, we're doing this thing from Leslie Headland, who did Russian Doll. Do you watch that show?
Russian Doll.
So she's like the creator, showrunner of that.
Oh, that's great.
Show. So they hired her to do it. So I got hyped up about it because it's like it takes place like 100 years before the Phantom Menace, Episode 1. It's the first one, like really way past the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. The Acolyte kind of insinuates that it's going to be like Sith lore, and it's going to kind of delve into more that when we were talking to Leslie Headland, she was talking more so about she's a big fan of all of the lore in general, and I think there were names like Darth Revan and all the shit that I love. Brett sent me the best text today, by the way. So as I was mentioning, I had so much going on with my family. Everybody was sick, and so where the hell is it? I have to find it.
I just said, hey, while you're out, can you pick up a few more Star Wars books? We're running a little low.
Yeah, that's what it was. And I started laughing. It was hilarious. It was absolutely.
I honestly didn't realize there was that much material out there. That's
dude, that's nothing. And they send me stuff all the time. I'm just not as into it. But anyway, she apparently is really, really into it. And yeah, this is it. This is the first. Celebration shows up. They have Star Wars Celebration. No mention of this show.
Oh, really?
Nothing. Nothing. And normally, like, when Marvel does their panel, they say, okay, we've got this show coming out, but it's not coming out for like another 2 or 3 years. We have this not coming out for another. I'm like, okay, so they don't mention it there. That's interesting. I'm not saying there's going to be a trailer or anything, or a cast or anything. Or maybe there'd be cast or something, but nothing.
Just we're doing it.
Nothing. So then Comic-Con happens. And there wasn't any announcement that Lucasfilm or Star Wars was going to be there, but they announced that the lead, Amanda Stenberg, is the lead of the show. It was rumored that they were going to be in it. But then it's announced in like a press line at Comic-Con. Kind of weird. So I was like, okay, fine. So D23, obviously, there's a lot more of these casting rumors. It was stuff that the trades were doing. It was Hollywood Reporter and Variety. And you're like, okay. So maybe they're going to do some D23 now because all these rumors are coming out. So clearly they're going to say something. Nothing. And I'm like, and we started talking about, like, what the hell's going on with this show? There's no announcement. People are like, don't worry, it's definitely happening. I was like, okay, we know it's happening, but they're not putting any, like, there's no official announcement. Well, that's gone now. There's an official announcement. The Star Wars account officially announced the cast. And this is a cast. This is a really good cast. Amanda Stenberg, Lee Jung-jae, Manny Jacinto, Daphne Keane from Logan fame, Jodie Turner-Smith, Rebecca Henderson, Charlie Burnett, Dean Charles Chapman, but this is the one I didn't know about, the great Carrie-Anne Moss.
Wow.
Now, I didn't know about that. And this is a great cast. I mean, this is a great cast. So I'm going to read some of the stuff that they talk about here. Inside of what an absolute amazing cast this is. I know nothing about it. So the report is that as production now gets underway on the Star Wars The Acolyte series, they started shooting also. The Disney Plus service has released a first official still, along with the unveiling of full cast list and synopsis. Story-wise, the series is dubbed as a mystery thriller that takes viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic. So, Amanda Stenberg from The Hate You Give and The Hunger Games, Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game, Manny Jacinto, 9 Perfect Strangers, Daphne Keane, His Dark Materials, Logan, Jodie Turner-Smith, Queen and Slim, Rebecca Henderson, Inventing Anna, Charlie Burnett, Russian Doll, Dean Charles Chapman, 1917, and Carrie-Anne Moss, obviously from The Matrix. A former Padawan, okay, so we get a little bit here. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. I like that. Leslie Headland created the series, serves as a showrunner and executive producer, and will direct the first episode. Kathleen Kennedy, Simon Emanuel, Jeff F. King, and Jason Mikleff also executive producing. So much. The Acolyte. All right, now there's the shot. They already started here. There was so much inside of that little statement that I'm so excited because you said, so I didn't watch Russian Doll. I hear great things. You have watched.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, where do I recognize it from? And that was Russian Doll.
So Russian Doll is pretty dark at points too, right? But with comedy.
Oh yeah, very dark.
But this is why I think that when coming off of, have you been watching Andor or not as much?
No, I've got to get.
You got to get into that one. But Andor is, to me, the most like I still want to smash my head into a wall when I read a comment between Andor's boring. Slow, I'll give you slow. Boring is you just stop watching. Please don't.
It's not a lightsaber heavy
it's
battle.
Just like a real
type.
Television show.
Yeah,
it's like a really well written, like adult oriented television show. Like I every time I see boring, I smash my head into the floor. I'm like, how do you don't know good writing?
Yeah.
If you think this show is boring, slow. I'll give you slow. I'll give you slow, but with payoff.
Okay.
But when you compare it to where like Obi-Wan, which to me is like a cartoon, it's really, or animated, I should say. It feels more animated. And even and I think that The Mandalorian, which it's still my favorite, but I think Mandalorian is a combination of like more of like a really great animated show with some kind of with more of the
action too,
more the classic Star Wars feel to it. And I feel because of what Leslie Hunlin has done with Russian Doll, even though I haven't seen it, from what I hear, I feel this is going to be in the dark, more serious tone of like Andor, but also give Star Wars fans what they want, because as we see, the Star Wars Padawan, the Jedi, uncovering the mystery that the first Sith, because the first time they find out the Sith are back are in Phantom Menace. So I feel it's going to be something where they discover it, and then MFers are getting killed. Like left and right, like Jedi are going to start getting killed. Like,
this will be the darkest.
I hope
Star Wars.
I hope
you're hoping it's the dark. I mean, and why would you want it always to be the same? And like you're saying, Andor is more of a story based.
It's dark. Andor's darker because of it doesn't have Jedi in it. It's more political. It doesn't have that space opera feel, and you don't have lightsabers. I feel like people are going to if it has that Andor feel or that Russian Doll feel, I feel people are going to lose their minds because it has Jedi and lightsabers and stuff in it. And that's what I think some people are missing or feel are missing. It has been the one that has been, to me, I've been looking forward to because of where it's set, the idea that the first Sith kind of coming into it. I don't know. Like, you go back to that cast. And
it's amazing cast.
It's an amazing cast. I mean, the cast is really like, where the hell is it?
And now you have to watch Squid Games too.
I know, I do. But Amanda Stenberg, I'm already a fan of. I mean, so the question is, out of all of the cast here, like who's going to play Sith? Who's going to play Jedi? If Amanda Stenberg is clearly, it seems like, going to play the Padawan, the former Jedi who's a former Padawan, going to their master to team up, please let it be Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah,
Carrie-Anne Moss has like the older, wiser Jedi. Absolutely. What a great casting that would be. I mean, I think and then Daphne Keane, who we've seen you've seen Logan, yeah?
Yeah.
So Daphne Keane, who we know can play in the dark, maybe Daphne Keane is the Acolyte. I don't know. I really like what's going on with this. I would assume though that the show is probably not going to come out until like 2014. 2014, perfect. It's gonna go back in time.
That's great. It's
gonna put it back in the past. It's already been out.
That's why they were keeping it under the.
That's it. Right, because it's a time machine. The whole show is a fucking time machine. You go back to 2014.
I'd say this one, from how you're explaining it, as like a casual fan,
yeah,
I am super excited about seeing something super dark in the Star Wars world, and with that cast, I mean, come on.
I hope so. Now look, They might switch it and say, look, we don't want to go. I don't know why you bring in the creative Russian Doll if you're going to try to be uplifting and super happy and like a comedy. I don't think that's what she does.
I mean, it is funny. It might have some dark humor, but
I don't mind humor. That's what I don't mind humor. If it serves the character and it feels like the character would be saying it, sign me up. I'm good. That's perfect. But if it just feels out of place, because it's like, oh, we want to go for some jokes and we need more and we need to lighten up the mood. It's like, no, stop that. But I love this cast, man. I really do. I think it's a great cast, and I'm excited that they finally have gotten it. I mean, I already know what my thumbnail for this video is going to be. It's going to be me like this, with the cast in the background saying with a big ass "finally" with an exclamation point, because we finally got some news on this thing. I'm so hyped up for this series. I think that the cast is incredible, and I can't wait to see it. I'm very curious. What do you guys think about the cast? Let me know. I want to hear the conversation. I'll try to. And maybe you're brand new to the channel. I have no idea. You might be, and if that's the case, you should subscribe. But if not, I try to comment back to as many people as possible. I know we got this show out a little later, so probably kind of travel into tomorrow. A lot of the comments, which is fine. But let's get into a conversation about it because man, I'm digging it. I really am digging it. I think it's a great cast.
And the first show to ever come out. 2014 and 2020.
Yeah. I've been watching. It goes back in time. You have to go back in time to watch it.
If you knew the day this cat had,
you have no idea. You want to tell you about my day? I'll tell you about my day. I'll tell you about my fucking week. Everybody in this house, the fucking dog was sick. Everybody was sick.
That's crazy. I've never had a sick animal.
Dude, everyone was sick.
Well, I mean, except for when they die.
Great. Well, let's not hope that. This dog's a year and a half.
Oh no. I'm sure it was sick.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
No, but I thought like something stung him or something because he sticks his head on the floor and he's scratching his head and he can't get comfortable. He pukes on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the dog? And he's like been limping lately. I'm like, oh great. The little one got sick. The older one got sick. My wife got sick. I got sick at one point. I'm like, holy shit. And then I recovered and everybody else got sick. And the dog I had to take this morning what I had to do because my wife usually will be the one when the kids go to school will be the one. Okay, I'll take the dog to the vet because my wife's is a mess right now. So I have to wake up this morning. I got to the little one is like, she was out of school last week. And so she wakes up and she's like sniffing. I'm like, oh, holy shit. And she's like, she's like, I can't go to school. And I was like, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't send her. I'm like, fuck that. I'm like, you think you're going to take care of this kid?
Yeah.
Like this? When I'm trying to do all this other shit? I'm like, no way. No. But she wasn't sick. My oldest one was. She stayed home. We take her to school. I take her to school, get her there, and then this whole shit happens. I got to bring her lunch later on. Then I got to take the dog to the vet. I'm sitting there for the vet. That takes forever. And then I got to get my wife's prescription. I'm like, and then I got to get on. I got on a phone call this morning with a business call, and then I had to get on another one. And I'm like, and I can't get to my show. I wanted to do the show last night. I couldn't get to it. I'm like, holy shit. People are like, yeah, the Acolyte. You can talk about the Acolyte. Yeah. I'm like, I'm trying. And then I have to bring my daughter lunch. And then I come in and because Amaru had asked me to do his show a while ago. I had to pick up my daughter from school, rush back here, and then because I love Amaru. Like I'm a big fan of him, so I wanted to do for him. I'm not a big like movie fights person.
Yeah.
I don't like the debate stuff, and I did it for a while, and I don't like doing it, but like I love him. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, because even at one point I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. And then I was like, I told Amaru I was going to make it. And I think the world of him. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go. We had a fun time. It was me, you, Roca, Ellis, Sam Levine, and Amaru. And we had a really fun conversation. So check that out.
But I mean, you're on and you're really heated about things and whatever. And then suddenly you cut that. And then you're like, oh, there's something very exhausting. I know, and I've worked really hard. Like I've roofed houses, I've done stuff like that. But there is an exhaustion factor to being on and being whatever, and to go back to back like that. Like even you were like, "Hey, you want to pop on?" I'm like,
I know. Honestly, had you not been on, I would have been like, Abba
Dabba's good.
Hey, Abba Dabba, I was playing on that fuck. Saw a couple fists.
They were going to tell us, and they didn't tell us, and they didn't do it, and I wanted to do it. Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. You want to go in the Jedi Battle Center?
Jedi.
Solo Kalapukala Wookie Acolyte. I want to go to Carl's Jr. and order a burger like that. Ask me for my own.
Carl's Jr. Want to help?
Somebody got dum bum fim pum pum chum pum pum num chin cheese.
Little louder, please. I'm trouble.
Amba simpa fatan jam pong kam pam 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 tim pa fam pim pim pim.
Anybody speak Java?
I just want to do it. Stupid.
Stinkballa.
Stinkballa. Remember my friend Stinkballa?
Yeah.
He stinks.
Town visit my friend Stink Baller.
Not on my watch.
Not in this economy.
Are you out of your mind, man?
Come on, kids.
Holy shit, I need some trade coffee. I should have made a cup before. I'm telling you guys, you're blowing it. I'm not getting that trade coffee. Blowing it. All right, listen to me. What else are we going to do? Let's talk about some more news. Let's move on. So, you know what I wanted to get to? I want to talk about Black Adam. It did really, really well again. So I think that movie, let's see, I want to see what overall it was number one in the box office, and it's got no competition right now. It's the best time to really have a movie out. I think it was a really smart on how they did that. What the hell is this shit piece? Just kidding. I like that. I dug it. Black Adam. Where are you at? Black Adam. There it is. Remains box office crown. Let's see. Black Adam retains box office crown. The DC Comics adaptation Black Adam. It is still atop the box office hierarchy this weekend. Again, this comes from Dark Horizons. In its third week in a row, the Dwayne Johnson-led film is on track to earn a further $17 million at the domestic box office this weekend. Beaking out? Sure. It beaked it out. Beaked it right out. Fucking dumbaba. Beaking out the arrival of Crunchyroll's anime release, One Piece Film Red. Beak it out, boy. Beak that motherfucker.
Oh, I can't beak it out, man.
He beaked it out! What'd you do? I beaked it out!
What else would you do? You beak it out.
I'll tell you, I beak out Julia Roberts. The Clooney and Julia Roberts rom-com, Ticket to Paradise. Looks to land
I'd beak out Clooney.
Bleak him out. Come here, you silver-haired,
good-looking man.
You silver-haired fox. Bleak you out, you fuck.
Come on, slap a kiss on me, Clooney. Let's beak this up.
Come on, Clooney. I didn't even remember you from Facts of Life. That mullet.
I actually do. That's how old I am.
Fucking mullet. Remember that mullet he had? Him and Joe.
Oh, Joe was my cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Joe was playing for your team, buddy.
I liked him rough like Joe. Yeah.
Play softball with you right after this. The Clooney and Roberts rom-com Ticket to Paradise looks to land in third and tracking to earn $8 million for its third weekend, just down 18% from its second outing and taking in a total domestic gross of $46 million so far. The film has earned a further $88 million overseas. Horror Tale Smile then comes in fourth. Okay, great. So Dwayne Johnson, let me see. I want to see what that movie has made thus far at the box office. Someone's trying to tell me that movie bombed. Let's see, you're out of your fucking mind. There's no competition, and it's doing really well. It made 18.3 this week. So far, worldwide, it's made $321 million. And is the budget? I don't know what the budget was, but either way, it's going to continue to make money. It's got no competition until next week with Black Panther. So that one you missed, but you're going to see. So you have been going to more screenings lately.
Yeah, I'm excited. We missed a couple early on there, but like the Halloween one, that was a lot of fun. And this sounds great. I'm gonna.
We're seeing Babylon 2 is the other one. The one,
Babylon.
That's coming next week, and then Avatar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll take you. That one I'll take.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
That's the one you're looking forward to.
And they're going to do, so what, they plan on 4? Should we switch gears? Or
we can switch gears on that one. I mean, I think that the main news with Black Adam was that it's what's that? It bleaked it out. Beaked it out. I'll tell you. I mean, I mentioned Julia Roberts. This shows you how you talk about trying to figure something out the other day. This is where I go at this point. When I know my wife so well at this point, she's like, "What do you want to watch?" I'm like, "Oh, you're in this mood." I go, "How about Runaway Bride?" And we started watching Runaway Bride. I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing all the way through. And it's like the second it starts, I'm like, Gary Marshall directed. I did see it. That's not true. I saw it. I remember I saw it. It was I saw it in the theater when it came out, but it was the last time I saw it. And the second it came out, I was watching and I'm like, "Oh, this Gary Marshall clearly did this." Same. Hector Alonso's in it, so you knew right away it's Gary Marshall. There's a lot of like throwbacks to. You remember how big of a deal that was? The two of them did the movie against this Pretty Woman. But anyway,
you can't make it through because you got to go beak it out with the wife.
Beak it out in the toilet.
You gotta Julia Roberts look-alike in your house, but you got to beak it out in the toilet.
Out to the toilet.
I'm so worried for Lonnie all the time, but it's just like look at us. It's like you get older, heavier, and it's just like I go, well, then stop being so fucking hot.
I know, right?
Take it easy, man. Maybe just play a little hard to get. I'm like,
please.
What do you
mean? I'm hopped up on joy mode. Beak it out.
I won the lottery here.
You feel like beaking out? Get yourself a Carl's Jr. sandwich. Get a Carl's Jr. Hey, listen, I gotta be honest with you. I was walking around the other day playing stickball. Got all hopped up, and I saw my girlfriend. I said, "Hey, I'm all beat down over here. Let's go fuck in the bushes."
Why you don't do shows? Midway during, are we on the air?
Yeah,
I think so.
You can beak it out.
So Runaway Bride.
Hey, so Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts, still a piece of ass. See this later.
But Richard, that took place in '99. I don't give a shit. You seen it recently, that Clooney movie?
Clooney. Holy shit. See that guy in a tuxedo? I got a hard on just thinking about it.
Silver Fox.
Oh my God, the silver-haired fox. Let that guy shit on my face.
Richard, take it easy.
Come on, it's
Richard.
a family show.
I'm just kidding. I let him hit me in the side here with his side pocket cock.
What are you talking about, man? Good
No,
Lord, this is a kid's show.
Not asking for anything crazy. Just want him to slap me in the face.
Hey, that's nothing out of context.
I'm no
What
weirdo.
do you think I'm a fucking animal? Just tell him, let him play with my balls a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, Clones.
Come on, he's a Clooney. Facts of life with him and Joe and Blair. Unfucking believable. Even Mrs. Garrett got me all fucked up one time. Talk about bleaking.
See the caboose on Mrs. G?
Holy shit, you'd be there for a while. You watch a whole series on Netflix. Talk about dark. I'm getting in there, coming out. To teach you a thing or two about a thing or two.
I'll take the good and the bad.
Oh, holy shit, and you don't know what you had. Talk about beaking it out. Holy shit. My last encounter with Mrs. Garrett, I've been limping around for 6 weeks.
Hey, you had your back broken up on Mrs. Garrett.
She took me, she was punishing me. I said, punish me, Mrs. Garrett, come on.
Come on.
Fuck me up.
I cheated on the math test. Fuck me.
On purpose.
On purpose, Mrs. Garrett.
On purpose. I knew she would punish me. Slap me in the balls with a rule. I got all my friends really jealous. They started failing fucking tests left and right. She strung up.
Why is everybody failing?
She strung up my friend Jimmy because he failed. This guy was a straight A student.
He started plucking his pubes out.
It's unbelievable. She was flicking him in the nutbag. I said, Mrs. Garrett, you're a fucking animal.
I don't know why everybody's failing all the time.
Yeah, look in the mirror there, you fucking fox. Now I tell you why. Unbelievable. Oh, my God.
Rest in peace, Miss Garrett.
Hey, you guys like Lord of the Rings? You like elves? I do. I'm a big fan of I am a big fan. I'm not even kidding.
Oh yeah.
Just I'm not kidding. I love the show. It was actually the last couple episodes were really good. The beginning of the beginning of it, I didn't know, won me over, and I was hooked. I was waiting for the next season. It's gonna take forever, but the good news is, if you want to go deeper into the canals
The candles.
of Numenor and the minds of Khazad-dûm, and you do it more with the official The Lord of the Rings of Power podcast. I joke, but Felicia Day is awesome. Brett knows her. She's great. And they have several special guests that provide an inside look at the groundbreaking series and what it took to bring Middle-earth to life. Each episode of the official podcast features exclusive interviews with the series showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, including the very first full breakdown of the incredible season finale. Felicia also goes behind the scenes with the cast and the crew to bring you jaw-dropping stories and Easter eggs you don't want to miss. So watch The Rings of Power on Prime Video if you haven't already, and then you can listen to all 8 episodes of the official The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast for free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app now. I'm telling you, check that out and do that because she's awesome. She's just great. I mean, she's been a powerhouse in this.
And knows her stuff, and definitely. Yeah. That's something I would probably need to listen to because I don't catch everything in these shows, and that would be a good thing because of how much time we have to wait for the next one.
And you're gonna get the official word on it, so it's almost like what I loved about those shows when they show those little official things afterwards. And sometimes the problem is they're only like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This is not that. This is a full podcast, so you get a lot of information out of it. So please go and check that out. All right, let's move on from Mrs. Garrett. So you had mentioned before Avatar. Let's get
beaked out a T-shirt.
What's that?
Beaked out's a T-shirt.
What T-shirt?
Beaked out is gonna be a T-shirt.
Oh, it's gotta be. It's gotta be a T-shirt with Mrs. Garrett. You think this is gonna carry on, or is it just us laughing?
Yeah, this is gonna be.
I'm so curious. I never know what the audience is gonna say. All right, you fucking idiots.
Yeah. These guys really like to laugh at themselves.
They either laugh with us, or they think we're fucking idiots.
They're sending us to Carbon Health to have our brains checked.
Sir. These two guys. You remember Mrs. Garrett from the 80s? We're talking about her whipping them in the balls with a ruler. Really? What an obscure reference, Mrs. Garrett. What I love is the amount of Googling for people who don't know who Mrs. Garrett was. Right now, Mrs. Garrett is, ooh. That's hilarious.
Girls!
Did you hear what they said about me? Well, the shoe fits.
Tootie, I couldn't possibly imagine.
Don't even tell me about Tootie.
Tootie's
brother. Tootie was in. She showed up in Cobra Kai season 1 or season 2.
Shit. Okay, now I'm definitely.
I mean, it was like a cameo, but I think that's just the love that Tootie show. Kim Fields.
Yeah,
Tootie.
Oh.
All right, let's Tootie on over to the next. Let's get on. Brett wants to talk about the story, and I can understand why. We're going to get to some Avatar news here. There's some. Originally, I mean, this story for 1,000 times we kept hearing about. We were getting Avatar sequels, and there was going to be Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 or something. And so we got a little bit more on that. I'll tell you in a second what the actual thing was. I think that there's some Cameron talked about, I guess, the scrapped. Oh, well, this is the Avatar 2 script. This is the first one. This isn't even necessarily how they're not doing another movie. They're only going to do 3 total. Back in late September, filmmaker James Cameron revealed that a good 1 year of the 13-year gap between Avatar and its soon-to-arrive Avatar The Way of Water was due to a trash script of the second film. Cameron revealed he had effectively completed the second film's screenplay before deciding to trash it and get the writers to come up with a new approach. Now, in a new cover story featured for Total Film magazine, via Magazine Direct and /Film, Cameron has gone into more detail about that original script, offering a more thorough explanation as to why he opted to go in a different direction. He also explains, stupid ads. Hold on a second. How do you do that? Now in a new cover, excuse me. He also talked how to this day he loves some of the ideas in it. Cameron says, what happened was we were noodling around. I was working with a team of writers. We had a lot of ideas. We kept trying to corral it into a box, and it never quite fit. So at a certain point, I said, I'll just finish it and see if it's a movie. I did. It came out, I think, at 130 pages. I was like, man, this is a great story. This is a hell of a read. But it was missing one of those critical elements about sequels, which is that it didn't go enough into the unexpected. It also didn't play enough by Avatar rules, which is to connect us to the dream world. Which has a spiritual component that we can't even quite quantify into words. It ticked every other box, but it didn't tick that one. And I thought we shouldn't make this movie, so I set it aside. However, some of it was too good to waste, so elements from that script got recycled into what has now become the Avatar The Way of Water. Other elements that Cameron adored, but just won't fit the new films, will now instead be used as part of a 3 Dark Horse graphic novel, which will come out in December. That's a smart idea. Those comics bridge the gap between the films. He also says there's some great stuff in it. I mean, you've got the Na'vi fighting with bows and arrows and Zero G. I mean, I'm there. I want to see that movie, but it just didn't achieve enough of the overall story. Anyway, the name of the comic will be Avatar The High Ground. and we'll get into that in a little bit. I want to talk about where is this? We got some more of the. I want to talk about the Avatar. Where is it? Okay, Avatar could end with the third film. Here's further. We'll talk about both these stories. That's what it said. Could. Even with the first Avatar being such a box office juggernaut, eyebrows were still raised when filmmaker James Cameron revealed he had 4 sequels planned for the franchise. When it came to shoot them, 20th Century Studios opted to shoot the second and third in full, along with a bit of the fourth. They are then waiting and seeing how the second one goes before giving the go-ahead on the rest. It's expected director James Cameron's heavily ocean-set second Avatar in December will be a box office hit. However, it could always underperform and not make the kind of money that Disney wants or justifies for more films. As a result, Cameron tells Total Film that he's fully aware of the possibility that the saga might not last as long as he'd like. Oops, almost fell. And so is ready for potentially having to call it a day with just 2 sequels.
Shit my pants.
Sorry about that. Didn't know that was coming.
It's been a long
there boy. It goes. Sorry about that. Didn't realize that. No, I hope I didn't mean that to keep happening, but unfortunately it was going to. There it goes again. I guess I shouldn't have had as much of those pieces. There it comes.
I see you.
So, the market could be telling us that we're done in 3 months, or we might be semi-done, meaning, okay, let's complete the story within movie 3 and not go on endlessly, even if it's not just profitable. We're in a different world now than we were when I wrote this stuff. Even it's the 1-2 punch, the pandemic and streaming. Yep. Or conversely, maybe we'll remind people what going to the theater is all about. The film definitely does that. The question is, how many people give a shit now?
Right.
I love everything that he's saying. There you go. Perfect. I love everything that he is saying so far about both the script that he scrapped and his approach to the next movies, because he's not in a La La Land world.
Yeah.
He understands. He mentioned it with streaming. He mentioned it with where the world is today, and he also mentioned there's a very good possibility, because you see the scenes that we saw. That first Avatar was just an experience going to the theaters.
Amazing.
So it was amazing. I'm worried about the frame rate. And I don't know what the frame rate's going to look like. I know what I saw when I went to D23. Do you remember when Hobbit came out and they shot it? And you know when you have the freaking the true motion on the TV?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like in both the Avatar stuff that we saw and in Hobbit. And I want it to look more to the cinematic, the way that the 2009 looked. So I'm wondering how they're going to do that, if at all. And maybe it was just the presentation that they showed. I hope.
Well, I mean, it is isn't it still a 3D film shot with 3D cameras? So
but it was 3D when I saw the stuff that I saw too. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but either way, I loved what he was saying. I love the how realistic he is about it, and the fact that he also, look, if people really want to see it, and this is before in 2009. I mean, Iron Man had come out like the year before, so we weren't into this big boom of. I mean, Dark Knight had been out, or she's not Dark Knight, but whatever, the first Batman. No, Dark Knight came. Yeah, Dark Knight came out. Dark Knight had come out, but either way, but we weren't in this MCU thing that we're in today. We were like the juggernaut that it is. Star Wars wasn't back yet, like all this stuff. So it was a very different time. He's right, but I don't know. I think it's gonna catch the magic. I really do.
I had a 2-year-old, and we made it to see this because we were like, we got to see this.
Got to see it.
Yeah, and I think, God, I'll be so sad if this isn't like, because I've been excited about this since the last one,
right,
and I don't know. I would think that hopefully in that amount of time you could make something that isn't horrible. But I think what he's saying is that yes, it's a different time, and not a great time to have something that really relies on the theater experience.
Well, I think a year ago that would be true. But
are we back to kind of?
I mean, look. First of all, look at Black Adam. Right, Black Adam is a decent movie that I think even at the time when it in 2019 it comes out, I think it does similar numbers. But look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man No Way Home came out at the end of last year, where we were still coming off. I mean, I think we were still in the freaking Omicron.
Yeah,
and it made blockbuster numbers, like insane numbers, over $1 billion, whatever it made. And so that's
I was told that streaming and the pandemic was going to ruin the theaters. So
I mean,
I was lied to.
No. It definitely has changed. He's right. It's changed the experience.
Yeah.
But I think there are certain movies that, like, there are certain movies you put out in the theater that are not good. Like that movie, The Duel, or the Ridley Scott movie, which with Adam Driver and it was Matt Damon, right? It's a phenomenal movie. It's a great movie. It's not a movie you need to rush out to the theater to see. If you go, will you enjoy it in the theater because of the sound and and does it look beautiful? Of course it does. But it's not the experience that people are going to the movies for today, because it's changed because of streaming, because there's so much content. Again, something like Dark. Like Dark is just such you couldn't imagine a show like Dark existing 15 years ago. It would be a network television show that you'd have to put a lot of money into it, Lost, in order for it to really catch. Now you can do stuff like that and you can make it work, and you don't have to do it by going to the theater. So you pick and choose why you go to the theater.
Yeah, and the reason, and I've said this before, like my home viewing experience was nothing like it is now.
Right.
Like you can set up your surround sound speakers and have your flats. I mean, flat screens cost nothing now. You can have this great, amazing system. You can go piss, you can pause, you can do all these things. But
you can piss while you're watching.
You can piss in your pants.
You can piss in the television.
Yeah,
they have a new television.
the OLEDs, you just piss right over
Piss TV.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It adds a crispness.
I didn't even tell you about what happened with me and Mrs. Garrett. Can I take it easy?
Come on, Richard, stop it.
But but I don't think you can sit at home and see Avatar, this new Avatar.
No, you have to go in the same theaters. And I think that's actually what, when you listen to most people when they talk about the first Avatar, and I've said this, man, I watched it recently with my daughter. I still love it, and I make no I don't make any excuses. I love the movie. I think it's great. And there's a lot of people who don't like Avatar, and that started to happen after it became so popular. It happened after it was started to be released on DVD and whatever, Blu-ray and all. It's not the same experience. That movie, there's a lot of movies that you can enjoy the same way that you did in the theater. That is a movie that is meant for the theater. So he is right, and he is correct that if the movie does not perform, then you're probably only going to get Avatar 3, and that's going to be, then they're going to call it a day. You would assume. Yeah.
I mean, I don't, I like things in threes anyway, but let's make a really good 3.
Yeah.
But you think if this one is amazing,
Like Blair and Tootie?
You think they're going to do the 4, or are they kind of saying we're going to stick with 3?
No, I think that he's saying, I think that they're opening the door still. The fact that, like, if it turns out to be the juggernaut they're hoping it's going to be, then I do think that there's an opportunity that they'll probably open it up for more if people want to go back to the world. And it's different because a lot of people felt the similarities with the first one with, whether it's Fern Gully or Dances with Wolves and all that stuff. They were just like, oh, okay, we've seen it before. If the second one is that different, and you get those naysayers who said, oh, it's just a rehash of this, and this, and it gets really good reviews, even more so than the first, then you can definitely see why it would happen. It also has no competition.
That's what I was just going to say. I think I remember you saying that when we were looking at there's nothing else coming out.
Nothing. That's not to say that. But what they can't do is, if it is successful, you can't wait another 12 years.
No.
Because James Cameron's got to be 75 years old. How old is James Cameron? Hey Siri, how old is James Cameron? Thanks. Hey Siri. Fucking asshole. She never answers in the middle of it. I'm going to try one more time. Hey Siri, how old is James Cameron?
James Cameron is 68 years old.
He's 68 years old.
Yeah, you can't do that one.
You can't. You've got to make sure. I mean, they said that they're going to film this, back to back and hit it. So you kind of have to. But I think that Disney
can they CG him directing?
Maybe, but no. You know what's funny though? It kind of ties into the fact of the next story, and I think that's where the hell is it? I'm going to find this because the very similar to what we're talking about here with shit. I can't find it. Freaking! I'm gonna have to go. You're gonna see each picture here, everybody. That's not it. We did that one already.
Shot.
Nope. Can't find any of this shit.
Oh, Grogu.
I'm not even gonna get to a lot of these stories. No, and this guy,
That
the last
looks
fucking
freaky.
one. No, I didn't even get the last one. Is that it? There he is.
Ah,
This guy. Fantastic Beasts. Everybody was excited to go back there, and now they're saying it probably could be the end. No more Fantastic Beasts because nobody gives a shit anymore. The last one was probably the one of the better ones, but nobody cared because it was, it was a little too late. So
wait, wasn't the last one the one that Mark wanted to walk out of?
no, that was
that was the one
that
prior.
was the one prior to that. I've liked all three of them, but again, I'm definitely a rare beast.
Yeah,
if
and
you will.
I'm with you. I mean, I saw the first one. I haven't seen the other one, but I'm open to seeing them. And I don't think I would hate them as much because I don't know. It's wizards and things. Like, what are you gonna?
Well, this is what it is. This is a comic book movie. After one good movie and two disappointing ones, which one do you say is the good one? It's looking like the Fantastic Beasts franchise has reached its end with the Wizarding World seemingly put on the shelf at Warner Brothers Discovery. All right, let's see. The Harry Potter movies once served as Warner Brothers' biggest franchise, with many blaming its success on the DCU not being a priority for the studio at the time. Still, it's been a very long time since the final movie was released back in 2011. Since then, we've had a prequel spinoff courtesy of the fantasy. I can't believe 2011 was the first one. Interesting. We've had a prequel spinoff courtesy of the Fantasy Beasts franchise, though that's proven to be something to be a letdown. Oh, the 2011 was the last Harry Potter. Sorry. While Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was undeniably fun, the sequels were a major decline in quality, with not even the level of damage control in the latest installment doing much to put the troubled series back on the right track. We're supposed to be getting at least 2 more movies to conclude the story, but as expected, that no longer seems to be the plan. Both The Crimes of Grindelwald and The Secrets of Dumbledore were both box office disappointments, and the new regime at Warner Brothers Discovery forging ahead with those sequels, well, it wouldn't be the smartest of business decisions for the frugal CEO, David Zaslav. In a report from Variety, it's established that despite his recent comments about potentially returning to the Harry Potter franchise, there are no active discussions currently with Rowling about developing another Harry Potter movie. In fact, there's also currently nothing in the Wizarding world in active development at Warner Brothers, inclusive of both the Harry Potter franchise and Fantastic Beasts IP. That's just about closes the door on Fantastic Beasts 4, meaning we're unlikely to ever see how the battle between Albus Dumbledore and Grindelwald ended. We're sure the Harry Potter franchise is a well Warner Brothers will return to sooner rather than later, though what form that will take is impossible to say. There continue to be rumblings about a big screen adaptation of The Cursed Child, although the original cast doesn't appear in any rush to reprise their iconic roles. All right, so a lot to kind of take in, kind of based off of what we just talked about with that story.
Yeah.
Because the first one does okay, and then they put the second one out, doesn't do very well, and then the third one does really bad, and I actually the third one was far superior to the second one. But it's a smart move to say no more. You can't just keep, no matter, I want to tell the story, and even though we had the success in the past, you can't keep, especially they don't have money, they're losing money right now, Warner Brothers.
And I mean, the immediate thing that comes to mind is that I think Warner Brothers is separating themselves from JK and kind of the news. I mean, that's the kind of the smart move.
That's partially, but
you got films that don't do well, and you've got somebody that's really ruffling feathers.
Sure, but Winston also, we went through a text there, and Zaslav had said recently they're going to go back to that world. So, and it's always going to be J.K. Rowling because she created it. So maybe they're taking a break for now, but they're going back to it. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter what J.K. Rowling would have said. If the movies were making money, you'd see another one.
Well, yeah,
they'd find a way to do another one. I mean, shit, if Roman Polanski was still making movies, you're gonna see. There's tons. I mean, look at the shit that Mel Gibson's got himself into.
Yeah,
he's still making movies. He's still doing stuff, and it's a matter of, and you don't. It's people's choices whether or not they want to support that. And it's not to say that the last movie didn't suffer because of it. It very well might have. But I think that if you did A Cursed Child, which is the continuation if you did that, but right now Daniel Radcliffe has said no thank you, but you never know.
Yeah.
And you throw enough money at him, and at a point where he gets a little older and he wants to do it, and you get him back, tons of people are going to go. Roxy said this years ago on Collider Live, that they should do a streaming service about Hogwarts, a streaming show about Hogwarts. Yeah. That would do well. They went so far out. They didn't get back to Hogwarts until the last one, and they didn't even spend that much time there. They went too far off the map with this one thing. And I think it's the same thing, very similar to, like, say, Game of Thrones, right? I think the biggest problem with Fantastic Beasts, personally, was that the books, and this is why I always beat the drum on why Star Wars, I wish, would tap into their books, because you have a full-formed story, and it's easier to say, like, and the reason why the Game of Thrones, the first couple seasons were so much better than the last is because there was no books for the last couple of them, and they were kind of making it up. And that's what happened with Fantastic Beasts. They wrote the screenplays, and I don't care if she wrote the screenplays or not. it wasn't these books, these highly, dense books that was Harry Potter. And that's what they should be doing. They should be taking, write a story and then do it. Now, again, the sales aren't going to be the same as they were with Harry Potter because of what you just said. But I think the franchise, the Beast franchise is done. It's over. But I don't think Hogwarts and the world of magic and Harry Potter is done. I think they'll return.
And I think they want to see the original cast in some way. They want to see those stories a little bit. I don't think that's kind of was what I thought about with this one is like, you followed these children from when they were very little till they were, French and each other. It's like
Mrs. Garrity and the back shed. But it's true. Look at Top Gun. I mean, that 30 years later, and people are like, I got to see what the hell Maverick's up to. People don't. Of course, they're going to want to see what Ron and Hermione and Harry are up to. They
don't want to see what his parents were doing.
But even if they did that a little differently, their parents they might have. Yeah. Lily and all this stuff because they set that up.
No,
I'm
talking about Maverick's parents.
Right.
Nobody wants to see a film, and that's kind of what Fantastic Beasts to me. It was kind of
because we didn't know who those people were.
Yeah.
We just knew Dumbledore was kind of mentioned everything. We didn't know who they were, and you had to reset everything up. And there wasn't this, and everybody knew who Harry Potter was who read the books. Nobody knew who this guy was, and he didn't have the same kind. And he was a little awkward and everything too. And I like him as an actor, but it wasn't the same. So if they would have done a thing about Lily and the rise of Voldemort and all that very similar like the Star Wars prequels, how it started, that probably would have done better. But
or made the titular, I love that one. Made it Dumbledore or one of the other teachers or Snape's origin.
Anything along those lines. All right, look, there were so many other stories that we could have got to, but what did we do? We talked about Mrs. Garrett for 15 minutes. But I wanted to talk about the Acolyte. That was really the main thing. We'll get into other stuff too. We have a lot going on. I'm doing Campy Show tomorrow. Wednesday, Sith Council. Thursday, we got myself, Brett, and Roxy on the show. And then Friday, Capes and Cows, which we'll be doing, we're previewing Black Panther. I'm going to have my Black Panther review up tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. It'll be up tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. So come back and check out my Black Panther Wakanda Forever non-spoiler review. Brett Sheridan. Keep hitting Brett. Brett Sheridan, thank you for joining me and keeping me somewhat sane while I was doing this. And for you guys, do me a favor, once again, make sure that you check out Trade Coffee, check out the Lord of the Rings podcast. The links are in the description. Thank you to our friends over at Carbon Health for sponsoring this show today. And we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you once again. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Get yourself one of those shirts. Big thing, Capes and Cows. The
Top Gun guy?
Yep, the Top Gun guy. All that stuff and more. So thank you guys. We appreciate you very much. And we shall see you guys on the flip side. Peace out. And I guarantee you that you didn't hear the theme music in the beginning. And I bet you now you will. Here you go. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And we'll see you on the flip side. I didn't even hear the Top Gun guy just now. Nice. Because I didn't even have the stupid setting on. Stupid. All right, we'll see you next time. Peace.